Hello, I'm Richard Raffan. This is the 22nd of the Four Ways videos. My choice of project this month, and I decided we should tackle a hollow vessel, and it should be taller than it is wide, and the opening should be only a quarter of the diameter, no more. I live to regret that, so I ended up making two videos. The first one was this little pot, which you'll now see in its own video, a separate one, not this one, because having got the dimensions right, I then decided to reduce the diameter so it no longer fits the criteria. So I only had one other blank, which was a piece of ash, and trying to get rid of the defects, because I really don't like working or finishing with pieces with splits in, especially large splits. This is what I ended up with, and rather than trying to find another bit of wood, another blank, I think there's enough of interest in this one to keep people's interest. Now I'd encourage you to watch the other three videos, see what Sam, Mike and Tomislav came up with, and you'll find the links to their videos in the notes to this one. A short log of claret ash, at least 10 years old, might be even more. The main features are the remnants of a branch in there. There should be a kind of flame figure somewhere in there associated with a crotch, and there's another kind of branch there and something else in there. So I'm hoping for some good grain in there. This is going to be an end-grained vessel. The project here is to turn a piece which is higher than it is wide, and then the opening shouldn't be more than a quarter of the diameter, which might be a bit of an ask anyway. We'll see what happens. Now on the end, I've found center, which is there, and drawn a circle, so I know roughly where center is, and I've done the same on both ends. Another one here. This end is slightly larger, therefore I will make that the base, and this is going between centers, so get a full spur drive. I'm going to rough this down using a 3/4 inch continental roughing gouge. And that harder sand in there is the knot. Slipping a bit, so just tighten the tailstock up. The sooner I get a foot on the bottom, the better. So this stuff is pretty hard, being very dry. Right, so I've actually got a chuck which will grip that, but will come down a little bit further. I'm going to use the skew chisel for that. Peel and cut, come up a little bit in speed. Right, that's now going to get turned round into a chuck. So these are 75 millimeter shark jaws, which is 3 inch. And we'll still have tail center support. Right, now that's much more firmly gripped, which is a good thing. And get in onto this. So there's the tail end of the branch. It's quite dusty, being old, so dust on. Get rid of the bark. Will come off anyway. So what I'm going to do that will be going in that direction, this knot. So I'm just going to work into that and just see where it goes. Well, I'm not a great one for filling gaps and things, but might well be doing that here. My vessel has to be taller than it is wide, so we'll just see how we're going here for the moment. So provided I come down more there, the trouble is the knot is going that way. So I could, I'm still going to pursue that knot and take this lot away. This will be the bottom. I'll start to get that curve done. I'm running true, so I can speed it up quite a bit. And I'm now up to 1100. Like that sharp edge, take that away. Still like to get rid of it. just have no idea where it's going. That's the problem. Or where it's going to end up. Right, that's the pith. So it's looking very bottle-like at the moment. And I really wasn't intending to make a kind of big bud vase. I'm going to get rid of that, which comes down to there. Starts there, I've got another split there. Another split appearing. Figure. That one knot's gone, that one is almost gone. Bit of a knot there. Well, I'm well out of my normal shape here. It's looking very much like some kind of Middle Eastern vessel. Split just there. What might be of more interest here is how I'm holding the tool. So I've got my hand fairly near the ferrule, the handle is into my side and I'm aiming to move with it. And come down the other side. Rest is going to come up because it's a larger diameter, leaning back to the left. Bouncing a little bit there over a bit of a knot. I have a bit more speed, so I'm now up to 1500. Right, that's that a little bit there. Now so that done, and I can sand that, but first I'll get the hollow done. So I can start my opening. I'm really thinking now in terms of kind of bottle shape. So I've got my 3/8 spindle gouge here. Just get the opening started. This is barely going round. I can stop it, so I'll just tighten it a wee bit, give it a bit more support, definite support. Having started the hole, I can then go in further with the depth gouge, and I can push that in all the way. So this now is going to be a pot for dried flowers, I suppose, twigs and that kind of thing. I can open up the rim with the back hollowing. So I need the rest high enough so the point's pretty much at centre. It's alright. The tool just a shade high. If I want to make a larger hole, I can drill one. Do I want a larger hole? Yes. So I'm just going to stick this as a 1/2 inch spindle gouge. Now to do this, you need to have a convex curve on the wings, and this is a pretty well symmetrical fingernail grind, so that works all right. Doesn't matter how the tool is, because it's basically boring. In it goes. I'm only sanding the bits which I can't get at later. So I now have in here a conical drive. It's the kind of solid cone which used to go in tailstocks. I've got a small bit of non-slip cloth, so I'll poke that through one of the middle holes. That goes on there. So that is to protect the wood and provide a kind of non-slip surface. That's the theory anyway. And then that will tighten up tight, and I turn the bottom. If I wanted some kind of foot on the bottle, I could leave that. That looks about right. Tool starts right on its side. can rotate it slightly once you're in the wood. Okay, so I've cut right into the cone. Now I'd like to leave the centre mark there, so I'm going to get in with a small skew chisel and just put a couple of grooves in there. If I can get in probably from above. Okay, the whole idea is to make it all look decorative. So anybody who's not a turner will be impressed. Anybody who is a turner will know what the groove's all about. 180 grit. The blue 240. I'd rather forgotten the little splits and things here, which I suppose I could fill, but just leave them there as kind of, I think I better fill them. I'll fill them with 10-minute epoxy and some black dust. I've got African blackwood dust, but any kind of powder paint or coffee grains, if they're fine enough, would do. So I don't need much. Right, I think I've got them all. No, I let that set for about 20 minutes and then I can get at it. So the sanding is pretty well down to 240 grit here, but I've decided I don't like this rim, and it's quite difficult to get in there with a gouge because the headstock's in the way, but I'm going to do it with the side of the bevel side on the skew chisel. I'm just going to round it over. Slight ridge there which doesn't seem to want to go. I'm going to try with this detail gouge, very shallow flute, and I don't normally work left-handed, but I can just get in there using the right wing just to round over that inner lip a bit. I'll even be able to actually get in with this. Oh, gosh. I can get round right-handed. I find turning quite difficult enough without trying to be ambidextrous. Right, so I can still get in enough that I can sand up against the cone, the conical drive. There's certainly a little bit of a problem here because it's difficult to get right in, so what I'm going to do is make another drive. So now I've got some chalk jaws on. I have a number of these little bits and pieces stored away for exactly this purpose. I've trued up this, or this is a cylinder. That's a little shoulder which goes right up against the chuck jaws, so it should run pretty well true. And then I just need to make a cone on here which is going to fit into the top of my little pot, and it doesn't need to be ultra shiny, so I'll just peel it down anyway so I can figure will eyeball it. Must be somewhere around there. Runs true, and that means I can get inside there. Just I'm actually going to take away a bit more of the chuck bit. Then my finger has better access. Just round that over. Now the inside I noticed had coloured up a bit, I think from having spun slightly on the non-slip cloth, so that will just have to be hand sanded. Ooh, haven't finished sanding it. Got to do the fine one. Right. 320. Not much of that left. And I've got a burnt line in there. I might be able to get it out, but I think it's unlikely. Or I can have a go, turn a small, or get a small dowel and just get at it with hand sanding. So I managed to get rid of the black mark, the black line, with a little mini sanding stick. So I turned the cone I had down, put a slot in it, and then I'm now down to using the blue, which is the 240 grit. That slides into, slides into the slot. That winds around. Now that's obviously going to flap a bit, so that goes over. Start the lathe and basically hand turning this is. Now it's had some boiled linseed oil on it, that's come up pretty well. Well, thank you for watching all of this, if you've got this far, and I'd encourage you to have a look at what the other three have got up to, and you'll find the links to their videos in the notes to this one.